Hey everyone, it's Kim, and we are here for another one question session. I really like today's question because it's a common issue and I think it will help a lot of people. All right, here's the question. It seems impossible to move forward after infidelity, even more so when you have a visual, videos, and pictures to go along with the betrayal. Is there anything that one can do in order not to be haunted and continually traumatized by the images? Yeah, that is tough. Fidelity's hard anyway, but when you add additional triggers that come from emails or videos or pictures, then it really makes it harder. It also makes it harder when people minimize your trauma. People will say things to you like, you've got to get over it, especially if your spouse is saying that. How long is this going to last? When are you going to get over it? It didn't mean anything. Why do we have to talk about it? It just makes it harder for you to sit in that space for a bit and let yourself heal from this. That's why when we work with people who have had an affair, we limit the amount of information and kind of pace it out so it's not just dumped all over you. Also, we completely avoid graphic images, anything like that that will traumatize you later, because we call that re-traumatizing. What you experienced was a trauma. You were traumatized, and every time you see an image or a visual or you remember those things, it's re-traumatizing. That just actually sets back your progress. The good news is there is help for this. It's called PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a real thing. You hear about it mostly in war vets that come back and try to function into their daily lives after experiencing that kind of trauma. I actually experienced PTSD. I was in a bank and the bank was being robbed and everyone was taken hostage. We were made to lie on the floor, our hands behind our back. One of the robbers, there was like 3 of them, they stormed the bank with guns and put a gun to my head. That was definitely a trauma, and for 2 years after that, I couldn't go to a public place like a mall or a restaurant or anything where I didn't have a direct eye line sight to the exit and a direct ability to leave, which created some problems. I would get there and my heart would race and I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I would sometimes get dizzy or feel nauseous. PTSD is real and your body responds and you can't help it. Even though in your mind, I know the chances of being robbed again are nil, my body is experiencing it like it did the first time. And that's what PTSD is. That's why when you think about those images or you run across them again, your body responds. I've worked with clients who keep the emails and want to read over them or know that they have them. And I'm like, toss those things, because every time your body goes through those reactions. The good news is there is treatment for this. There are 2 that we use at the Marriage Place. One is EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. And the other one is ETT, or emotional transformation therapy. I called them voodoo when I first heard about and learned about them, because it didn't make sense to me how your eyes moving a certain way when you thought about an image would change the way your brain reacted to it or your body reacted to it, but it worked. I mean, it works. And ETT, they use lights. They use colors and light therapy. It's almost like it takes it to a different pathway in your brain, and then you're able to experience the memory without your body getting activated or without feeling emotionally charged. I know I was robbed. It didn't change my memory. I know that I was in a life or death situation, but I'm very much on the outside now, not so involved in it. That's what these therapies can do for you, because it's tough. I will tell you, I read something one time and I thought, it's true. People who heal from an affair are the ones who want to. And what that means, I think, is that it's a tough journey. This is not going to be easy and it's not going to be quick. You're going to have to remind yourself a few times why you want to stay and commit to not leaving every time you feel like you want to leave. kind of like this RV trip I'm on. We've been on the road a really long time and I'm ready to go home. Sometimes I'm really glad to be here and not ready to go home. And that's kind of how it's going to be for you. It's one day you're in it, you feel good about it, and the next day you're like, why am I putting up with this? It's being committed to get through the process. And if you want to heal, you will heal. And honestly, you're going to heal whether you leave the marriage or not. You have to heal because otherwise this will tear you up, and we do not want that. I will tell you, to give you some hope in this, I've worked with couples where the man has visited prostitutes multiple times over multiple years, or women who have met men from Craigslist or Facebook and created all of these sexual relationships. They're all tough. But the one that sticks in my mind the most, and I think it's because they're the most committed to healing. I think that's it. Of all the couples I've worked with, these are the most committed to healing. He had an affair, long term, thought he was in love. The wife found out, and he was pretty open, not sure he was going to stay in the marriage or go to his affair partner. The affair partner was mad because she knew that the husband was thinking about staying with his wife. So she bombarded the wife with videos of their encounters and pictures and texts and emails he would send her. She would send the wife emails where he would say, I love you. I've never experienced love like this before, which was devastating for the wife. She ended up getting an STD because of this affair. It caused some kind of precancerous or cancerous growth, and they had to go in and take it. Now she has to be monitored every so often, all because he had an affair. Her family wanted to have nothing to do with him. They told her, if you go back to him, we're done with you. This woman had so much against her, but she loved her husband. She wasn't sure she loved him for a while, but she loved her husband, and she did the work. She did EMDR with another therapist while they did couples work with me. They worked with me every week, sometimes twice a week for probably 2 years. They kind of phased out 2 or 3 times a month and once a month or whatever. And now they come back at least in 4 times a year, at least. They are so adorable. They're cuddling and they're like the poster children for good therapy. In fact, they were in the lobby one time and another client was there and they came in later and said, I want whatever you did for them. They're just so cute and adorable and like they're newly married, and in a way they are, because they divorced the old marriage and created a new one. I would never say have an affair, it'll make your marriage better, but in this situation it actually did, because it woke them both up and made them both willing to look at their stuff, because everything was on the line. They were about to lose everything. Her husband was a good man who did a bad thing. He wasn't a rascal or a scoundrel who just got caught and was going to go out and live this way again. So they were able to heal. As hard as it is right now, don't make any rash decisions. Let yourself process through this pain. Get help to do it. Get some trauma work done with EMDR or ETT. I've seen those make incredible differences in people who do those therapies. There is hope. And what I wish for you is what I witnessed in my client, which is a renewed sense of love and commitment for each other. And you can have that. I want you to have that. You just have to be committed to get through this. Now, I don't know your situation. I don't know your husband. I don't know if this is a bad guy doing bad things, but this is my hope for you. So take care of yourself. You're hurting. Give yourself space. Don't listen to anybody that tells you that you need to just get over it. All right, so I hope this was helpful to you guys. I really am enjoying these. I hope you're enjoying them. You can send a question to askkim@themarriageplace.com, and I will do my best to get to all of you. I've got several backlogged. I'm just going through them as they come in, and I will hopefully get to answer yours quickly. So remember that change in any relationship begins with you. And I wish you all a great and happy day. Until next time.